Hello everyone. I'm a little early, so I'm not going to do my greeting just yet. I will see when you guys start popping on, and it's not quite 7. I have 2 minutes, but I was here and I was setting up and I was checking out my lighting and fixing this crazy hair. So we will hang. We have time. Let me change my camera so you guys can see what I have here. Okay. Oops, don't break that. That's important. Yes. Hello. I'm here when you're here. I will get started in 1 minute at 7 o'clock. If you pop on, put a little comment in the comments, okay? When I post this or put this on the YouTube, I'll have to cut all this part out, especially the very beginning when I wasn't quite in my chair the right way. Okay. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Okay. Let's see. Oh, how did I do that? Oh, I know I did that. Okay. Hello, everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart. I was just going to check the time. Hi, Teresa. How are you? You painting with me tonight? That's awesome. I was just going to check the time, making sure it's 7 and not 7:30, but you're here, so it must be 7, unless you were just popping on. So should I check my time? Can you hear me? Yes. So it's 7, and yes, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. So, I'll do my little intro, and we will get started. Perfect. Okay. Anyway, hello everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart. I am a mess. It took me a very long time to get home from work tonight. It was not pleasant. So, I have my paints laid out. I'm using 2 greens, a white, a yellow, a deep red, a medium blue. This one's called Cobalt. And then Cafe Latte and Burnt Umber. So a dark brown and a medium brown. Like I say all the time, I encourage you guys to use whatever colors you have on hand and whatever colors you prefer, okay? I know sometimes when we're new, we want to follow the instructor, the teacher exactly, and that is fine too. I just don't want you guys making a big investment in things. That's really my point. Now that things are mostly back to normal in New York, we're back to normal. The state of emergency has been lifted and everything. Stuff is getting easier, but I really don't want you guys to have to make a big investment until you make sure you love painting, which, how could you not love it? But that's not the point. So, hi, Paula. So, I have my paint colors. Okay. I have, excuse me, tonight I am painting on this canvas board. It's not quite, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's pretty heavy duty, but I'm going to be painting on this board tonight. But I will show you guys most of the time, and if you've painted with me before, you know I paint on this bristle board. It's smooth surface. The pages are very thick. You can use them both sides if you want, if you're practicing. I do have a practice trick, and we will get to that, but I'm just letting you guys go, hi Marty. So I use this bristle board. It's Strathmore Bristol, smooth. This is an 11 by 14. It comes in 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 9 by 12, all different sizes. So you can get whatever works for you. And I think I've put this in my post with supplies in the past. It's not an affiliate link. It's just me helping you out with what I use and what I like. Okay? Because plus, hi Terry. sometimes, if you guys can see, this is only a portion of my canvases. I mix them in and out seasonally. Some are on my walls, some are on my mantle, some are in my daughter's closet. Shh, don't tell her. As soon as she moved out, I took over one of her closets, but that's a secret. So, this is what we are painting tonight. You guys have a tracer. You didn't really need to trace ahead of time, but I'd like you guys to have that for your own purposes. If you traced ahead of time, that's totally fine. That works. But we're going to paint the blue and the brown first because we want to be able to see both of those things through the glass jar. Okay? And if you have scissors, what did I do with mine? If you have scissors and they're near, you can grab them now or maybe take a minute later to grab them. But I have cut out the jar from my tracer because once we paint, you can just as easily put this down and trace around it as opposed to trace on top of it. So that's just another way of doing it, okay? So if you have scissors and you want to do that and they're nearby, go ahead and grab them. So I'm going to put this out of my way now. We're going to start with the background as usual. And we're going to start with the wood down here, and I will change my, is that going to fit? Yeah, it should fit, so I can look at it. I'll change my camera. I have a ruler. If you have a ruler, that's fine. If you don't have a ruler, that's fine too. You know, we're not the ruler or the measurement police here. I use my hands often to gauge stuff. And if you can see, if I put my hand down from the bottom of my canvas to my line, it's 4 fingers. If, for lack of a better word, and if you're a Seinfeld fan, if you have man hands, maybe you only want to use 3 fingers. If you have tiny little hands, maybe you want to spread them out a little bit. But this is about, now I will measure, from my T-square, you like my t-shirt from my T-square? This is about 3 inches from the bottom, okay? But like I said, I often use my hands, and I will be, so I'm laying my hand out, I'm putting my T-square there, I'm gonna get this pencil, and I don't even think it has a point on it, but it will make a mark, and I'm gonna pull it across. Okay. And there we go. There's the bottom of my table. Okay? And get rid of this now. So if you have any questions, I will follow. Please put them in the comments. And we will get started. I'm going to get out my light brown first. Okay? Get out my light brown. And in my case, I'm using coffee latte and a little bit of white. Okay, and I am going to, oh, I need some paper towel. Sorry. Do you guys have paper towel? You're going to need some paper towel to wipe your hands, to dry your brush. Okay. I know, you guys, took me, an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes to get home from my 9 to 5 tonight. And it just puts me off my game, so sorry. But once I get into painting, we'll be all good. I don't like sitting in the car that long and sitting in traffic and all that. It's a pain. Anyway, if I go too fast, if you get called away, if you have family that needs you desperately, don't fret. This recording stays in the group, okay? And you can come back and paint it at your leisure, paint it again, invite a girlfriend over and paint it together, whatever you want to do. Okay. So I am putting cafe latte on my brush. I am using, this is a 3/4 inch flat brush. It's a decent brush. It has a decent, what we call a chisel edge on the top. Unlike some of my brushes that I just use for like background. Look how that is. Even if I wet this and put it in paint, it will not come together like this anymore. It used to, but not anymore. Okay, now I'm going to just pick up a little bit of white on a corner. I just went in on the edge and scooped it up, and we are going to get started down here painting what's our table, our faux table, our wood, whatever it is that you have. And if you wanted to make this, I know I say this all the time, if you wanted to make this gray or black even, that's up to you. It's your art. And I would never tell you you can't do something. It's art. It can't be wrong. Okay? And art can be very subjective. So we don't want to overblend. We want variation in our wood. I just picked up a little bit of straight dark and I'm just brushing it on here. I'm even going to go, while I have the brown in my brush, I'm going around, and I don't have a stretched canvas, but I still have this little canvas board and I still want to paint my edges while I have this color going. Okay? Then we're going to leave that part to dry and we're going to rinse our brush. When we after we wash our brush, we want to give it a nice squeeze in the paper towel so we don't have any dripping water. Okay? And now I'm going to get out my medium blue, which in this case, like I said before, is cobalt. I love this color. It works with a lot of different things. I've used it pretty much. I don't know if you guys saw, but I had a live sale recently where I made a bunch of, hi Teresa, a bunch of Patriotic Americana products for sale. And I used a lot of this cobalt and this cardinal red. They really went well together for the red, white, and blue theme. So, Teresa, it's nice to see you. We've done the bottom table part. It's approximately a hand width or 3 inches from the bottom. I made a straight line and painted it with my light brown, which is Cafe Latte, and a little bit of white. So now we're going to do our blue background, but we're going to start up here because we're going to start here while this dries, okay? And for the top, I'm just going to pick up, oh, I accidentally picked up white because I had a little drip there, but ignore that, okay? You didn't see that. And I'm going in and I'm painting the blue. As we move down, we will add white. You don't have to have 100% coverage. Your canvas is white. That's a color. If you miss a spot, that's fine. If you want to make sure you have 100% coverage, that's fine too. And I'm just going back and forth and we're doing our blue background. And as I get lower, I'm going to add some white and a little bit more white to it, you'll see. But right now I'm just using the blue. And even though I'm using the one color, I don't want to come in here and paint every which way. It's one color, but you'll still be able to see the brush strokes. So you want to paint in one direction. If you were painting vertically, that's fine. But when you start doing this one element, and then this case, the background, you want all your brush strokes to go the same way. Okay? And the trick is to have enough paint on the brush. Not that it's sloppy and thick, I'm painting my edges again, but that when you touch your brush to the canvas, you're not getting that. That is not productive. That is definitely not enough paint. You want more paint than that in the bristles of your brush. And if you only can go back and forth, and it really depends on the brush. So if I can load my brush once and do 3, 4, 5 passes with it, it may be different for you depending on what kind of brush you're using. So the importance is to recognize when you have enough paint on your brush and not necessarily follow what I'm doing. Okay? Okay. So I had to put out a little bit more blue paint, and now I am going to pick up a tiny little bit of white. See just that corner? But I'm going to keep the blue with the blue. Oh, need more blue. And a tiny bit of white. And I'm just going to start blending that. The trick to blending is to have wet on wet. So you want wet paint on your surface, and you want wet paint on your brush, and you're blending wet on wet. Okay? The opposite of that is when you're trying to fix something and you want your paint dry as dry can be. If there's something you didn't like, if there's something you want to change, if you accidentally dropped your brush someplace and now you made a blob, you want to wait for that to dry, completely dry, or use a hair dryer or a heat gun. And when that is in fact completely dry, you can get some paint and paint right over it and fix it. Obviously, if you're painting light on dark, it's going to take a few coats, but if you're patient, you will in fact be able to cover whatever it is you're trying to cover. Okay, now you see here, I picked up a little bit more white on my brush, so I want it just a little bit lighter down here. I put a line in here so I could separate from my wood table. And there you have it. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a minute or two to catch up or finish or do whatever it is. And I'm going to wait for mine to dry. I might have to hit it with the hair dryer. You might have to hit yours with a hair dryer, or if you have a paper plate, whatever you're using, if you have something by you, instead of picking up your painting and waving it around, a quicker way to dry your painting is like this. Okay? Doing this creates more airflow than going like this. Okay? So, hi. So what do you guys think of my clip? It reminds me of, did you guys ever see the movie The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy? That was a funny movie. If you haven't seen it, it was hysterical. A lot of profanity. So I'm warning you, I don't know how people feel about profanity, but a lot of profanity. But it's such a funny movie. And in it, Sandra Bullock wears a bobby pin. And when my hair is long like this, I'm getting it cut tomorrow. When my hair is long like this, it feels like I'm wearing a ski cap. I'm also a woman of a certain age, but it feels like I'm wearing a ski cap on my head, and I need to have my hair off my forehead. So I apologize for the outlandish look. So, how's everybody doing? So I'm letting my blue dry a little bit, but my brown is dry. Is your guys' brown dry? Oh, and again, you know, I leave myself a note to do my time lapse over here, you know, because part of doing what I do is being able to do it on social media and share and get people to join me. Thank you, Terry. So, and then I have a note, it's right here. It says time lapse. Oh, you can't see that. I can see it. And then I have it all set up, and then I forget to set it. So, but whatever. It's on now, so it's good. Marty. I always pin my hair back when I paint. Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's like, okay, roll up your sleeves, put the hair back, and you're ready to go, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Or I'll put on a hat. But sometimes the hat bugs me too. I'll look like this, and then the brim is covering the camera. Whatever. It's good. It's all good. So once you're done with your brush and you've done your blue and your brown, you can stick it in water. And we're going to get out our dark brown, because now we're going to work on the details down here, because we have to have all these in place before we add our jar. That's why it has the illusion of glass, because you can see everything through it. So I'm just going to get out a little bit of this burnt umber. Okay? All right. And my liner brush. When I use my liner brush, I always dip it in water. I dry it off, but I'll dip it in water first. And when I use my liner brush, let me move my camera again. There we go. So, two things. Well, one thing first. When I use my liner brush, I will lay it in the side of the pile, the puddle, whatever, and twirl it. You want to have a point on your liner brush. You want all your hairs to be together on your brush, and you want it to be pointy. Okay? Now, also, when I need to do, I have a line to follow, but I always feel like when I need to do a line, it's easier for me to pull than it is for me to go across. But you do you, okay? And it may take some practicing on scrap paper or whatever to see which way. I like to do it vertically, okay? So I'm going to use my little pinky. I'm going to rest my hand. I'm going to hold my canvas. I'm just going to lay down my liner brush. And I'm going to pull. Okay. I'm running out of paint. So I'm going to come in here on the side again. This time I'm also pulling and I'm going vertically, but I'm pulling up. Need a little bit more paint. And don't worry if your hand shakes. Don't worry if your line is not perfect. It's a faux wood table. It's okay. All right? Okay. Then I'm going to pick up some more brown paint, and we're going to add a few more of these lines, a few distance apart, because we're going to make this look like plank wood. I might just add one more. If you have room to add a third or a fourth line, go right ahead. My lines aren't perfect. If you want your lines to be straighter, you could have gotten your ruler out again. The paint was dry, laid it out, put a little chalk mark or pencil mark, and had straight lines. But I'm happy with those lines. See, I got a little dippy in the middle. I will tell you too, my lines sometimes relate to how much coffee I've had. Back in the day when I used to take art lessons weekly, I would never have coffee. Well, I still don't really have coffee in the afternoon, but I would really never have coffee in the afternoon because it affected my hand. So now I'm going to take the brown again, and we're just going in, and we're adding a few little vertical lines, and we want to stagger them. They don't have to be the same length. They don't have to line up with anyone else. And there we go. It was a little dippy. Yeah, it happens. And then I'm going to pick up some paint, and we're going to just add some faux nails. Maybe they were nails and then they got plugged with little pieces of wood, whatever. But we like to add details to our paintings. Details is sometimes what makes it stand out from somebody else's. Okay? All right. Now we definitely have to wait for it to dry or hit it with the hairdryer. Okay. And I have washed out both my brushes because we're going to get to our smaller brush when we're done. I mean, after this. My blue is almost dry. You guys, I didn't take it out of the box yet, but I did buy myself a new treat. It is a heat gun, and a heat gun does what the hairdryer does without making any noise. So, excuse me. Okay. Hi, Terry. It's good to see you. Are you painting with me tonight? Are you going to catch the replay? So, let's do this. Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting? I was going to ask you if you... No, I didn't unbox it yet. It's somewhere. But I will. I will have it, I promise. Plus, Terry, you know we're like in these groups together. When I unbox it, I have to make a video or go live and be like, woo, look at my new toy. So it's not like I can just, well, I guess I could have used it tonight and then put it back in the box and then faked, woo, look at my new toy. But whatever. Come on, you guys, this is serious. We're painting. Anyway, so this is what we have so far. Our cobalt blue background on the top, and then our faux table on the bottom. Hi, I'm watching for the first time from Tyler. Hi, Vicky Stowe. It's nice to see you from Tyler, Texas. I am painting from Long Island, New York. Welcome. Vicky, don't fret. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But this recording stays in the group. There is a tracer and there's a supply list. So whenever you want to come back at your leisure and paint, feel free. I think I'm going to organize the live paintings and put them in guidelines. I think groups now have like guidelines or like I guess there's separate files. I think they stay on the feed, but you can also give them titles and put them in the guides. I think I will do that. But yes, all my live paintings stay on here. Okay. So I was saying earlier, so this actually, I made this tracer for you guys from a wood cutout I got, maybe at Michael's. I don't know. That's why it has this tag on it, because I photocopied the wood cutout in order to make this painting and have the tracer. So, and then I went and cut it out because now it's easier for me to take this. I need a piece of chalk. I'll use my pencil. It's easier for me to take this. I'm going to set it on my table. So we want it down here a little further. We want part on the blue. If it needs to be even Steven for you, you can find the center of your board. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay? And then I'm going to, like I said, this pencil, it doesn't even have a point, but I think it'll make like a scratch. And I'm just going to go in here and trace around my cutout here of my mason jar. Oops. If you want to lay yours down on top and trace it like we usually do with the graphite paper or the chalk or the graphite on the back of the picture, go right ahead. Whatever you think is easier for you. And that's good. I can see mine. Can you see mine? Yeah, we can see it. Okay? And I'm going to get out some white. Oh, I have some white. I'm going to just use the white I have. It's got a little blue in it, but that's okay because our background is blue. I will use fresh white when we do our flowers. Okay. So the first thing, again with my liner brush, I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to twirl it so I get it nice and pointy. And I'm basically just going to trace the shape of my mason jar. You don't want your lines too thick, but you want to be able to see them. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I use my liner brush, I have to go back into the paint a lot more often. A smaller brush holds less paint, obviously. So, There we go. Okay? And then I'm going to wash that and put out a little bit of our dark green. Now I have on here 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers and the flag. So I'm going to use my liner brush in my dark green. And on the tracer, I gave you basic placement for the 3 flowers and the bud. I'm going to try and follow that as well. Okay? And I'm going to add in my stems for my flowers. So we're going to have 1 straight down. Okay? Then we're going to have 1 smaller one up here. And we're going to have 1 coming from here, like medium height. And then we had a bud that came and crossed over. So how's everybody doing? Okay. And I'll use this one. I'm going to pick up my smaller brush and I'm going to double load it with the dark brown, burnt umber, and the cafe latte. And if you haven't seen me double load before, you stick one corner of your brush in one color, the other corner in the other brush, and you make this little runway here. But I'm not going to use this brush on the flat. I'm not going to use it like this because I think it'll be too fat for my pole, for my flag. So I'm going to use it with a little bit of pressure on the chisel edge. I'm going to stand it up like this. Stand it up like this. Okay? And put some pressure on it to get it a little bit thicker and pull down into our jar. I ran out of paint, so I'm going to pick some up and pull up. Okay? Rinse that off. Let me show you guys. This is what we have. Doesn't look like much, right? A painting takes a lot of stages, and you will sometimes go through a not so pretty stage before you get to the nice stage, so we have to be patient. All right, now we're gonna go, we're still using our liner brush. We're back to our liner brush. We're gonna pick up some white again, roll it in there. Like I said, I'm gonna put out fresh white when we get to the daisies, but for now I'm just using what I had. And now we want to, if you see how my jar is a little graduated, it comes in tapered a little bit, that's going to be the top of our jar. So we want to come up in here and go across the top. You want to go right across your stems and your flag. Okay? And then we're going to make the what's it called? The screw top, the ridges for the screw top. Okay? And we're just going to go in here and put a few lines. My green wasn't completely dry. If your green isn't completely dry, you can come back later and fix it with the white as well. And we're going to leave that for now. Okay? So now I have out my, this is what we used for the base. I have my blue from the background, and I put out my 2 greens because we're going to add a few little leaves before we get to our flowers, so they're in the background. Okay, and I'll show you a few. I did a few yesterday. I had a demo yesterday. I'll show you a few leaves there. Which, talking about that, yours is looking good, Paula, or mine? I hope yours. Thank you if you mean mine though too. So, you guys, I am working on a beginner 1-stroke course. Okay, it'll be ready for September. It's going to involve 3 leaves, a wiggle leaf, the simple leaf, which I'm going to show you now, but more in depth in the course, a 3rd leaf, which I haven't decided on yet, and then 3 flowers. This daisy, a poinsettia, and the sunflower. With guides. Oh, yours, thank you. Oh, Paula, you know what? A couple more classes you will be able to keep up. And don't forget, the video is in here. When you paint yours, post it. We want to see. This group is closed. It's only for us painters in here, so don't be shy. This is not a public group. It's a public group to find. It's not a public group to take part in and see what everybody's doing. You can't be a voyeur in this group. So feel free to share your artwork, you guys. So anyway, so yes, I'm working on a course. It's going to have 3 basic flowers and 3 basic leaves. Okay, so back to the double load, which is the basis of the 1-stroke technique to blend, shade, and highlight all in 1 stroke. Okay, so I have green, dark green, and light green on my brush. And I guess you guys can see, I'll pick a clear part. Here's a clear part over here. So when we do our 1-stroke leaf, we stand up. We're like standing up and we're pushing into like the 2 on a clock. And then we're standing up again. And then we're adding a little stem. Yes, I plan to paint tomorrow. I know the feeling, Paula. There are still plenty of things that I paint that I pause and paint and pause and paint. And we all start somewhere. So when you're working on it, if you have any questions, if you want to take a picture and send it to me in Messenger and ask me questions, I'm here for you. Okay, so we're going to stand up and we're going to push. Oh, that was a cruddy one. See what happens? We're going to stand up and we're going to push and stand up again and then put a stem. If you don't feel ready for that, you can just do 2 little ovals and put a stem. Almost like when we made leaves back in the day. You take your brush and you go like this. You take your brush and you go like this to meet it. And then you have a little stem in your leaf. Okay? So, I'm going to go in here. And I'm just going to add a few little leaves on my on my stems. Even out here, up there, and maybe one more over there. What happened on there? I don't know. Must have been water. Okay, just a few. We're going to keep using this brush, but I am going to get out some yellow paint and some fresh white. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush for now that has the green paint in it. Take it and give it a squeeze. All right, let's hold this up, see what we got. Okay. That's what we have so far. Okay. Oh, need a little drink, I'm parched. Alrighty then. So, this same brush with our yellow and our white, double load again, make our little runway, yellow corner, white corner, make our runway here. Now, the difference is we are using this same brush, but we're using this brush differently when we do the daisy as opposed to the leaves. We're more or less using this brush the way we did the flag holder. Dylan! Hey Dylan, how you doing, buddy? Hola! Hola, ¿cómo está, Dylan? So anyway, sorry, that's my daughter's really good friend from Costa Rica. We're using this flat brush the same way we used it to make the pole for our flag, okay? So instead of on the flat, like we did with our leaves, we're using it up on the chisel edge, make pressure, and push. Let me show you with I get painting anyway, but we're gonna keep it up on the chisel edge, push, pull, and then stand up. Stand up, push down and slide, and stand up. Okay, I'll show you how my paper now. We're standing up, we're gonna push down and slide, and we're gonna stand up. It's hard to see the yellow. Thank you, Dylan, I miss you. I need to come to sunny Costa Rica again. Those of you who don't know, I talk about it all the time, but my daughter number 2, my younger daughter, she's 25, she has been living in Costa Rica for, exactly a year and a half now. She teaches English and enjoys everything beautiful that Costa Rica has to offer. She's met some wonderful, wonderful friends, including Dylan, who's watching us now. And she loves it. She'll be home in August for a couple of months, but I miss her. But we've been there twice. It's beautiful. Anyway, back to painting. So I have yellow and white. So I'm gonna put a little dot where I want all my petals to come to, okay? So I'm gonna stand up, and we do a daisy like a clock, okay? So I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna push, and stand up. So that's, let's say 12 o'clock. I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna push, stand up, that's 3 o'clock. Stand up, push, stand up, that's 9 o'clock. And then I'm turning it so my clock is getting mixed up, but you guys get the gist, right? Stand up, push, stand up, that's 6 o'clock. And that is the basis of our daisy. I'm gonna fix my brush. So this not only, when we make our little runway, it not only picks up paint, but you guys can't see I'm picking up a little paint from here and a little paint from there. It also puts our brush back into shape after we was scratching it like this in our run when we were doing our daisy. It also makes it nice again, okay? And then you're just gonna go in and you're gonna add your 1, your 2, your, what is this, 11, 10, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Okay? And then we're just going to do it over again. Now you can, I have 3 flowers and a bud. You can put 5 flowers in a bud. You can skip a bud. I like you guys, once you get comfortable, to do however you feel. Do what you like. I tend, honestly, I feel like to be a little bit of a minimalistic painter. But you may want more elements. You may want less elements. It's totally up to you. Okay? And my first one, you see how my 12 is a little long? I'm not going to get jammed up about that. I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to add in around my clock, just the way I did. And see, now that we add in, that one that was a little long doesn't look so bad, right? And again, we're going to put a little dot. You could put the dot down here on your stem. It all depends on where you want to put it. So, and I'm going to, this time, I'm going to use my white to the outside. So before I was standing up, I had my yellow to the top. This time I'm going to put my white to the top, just to make a little bit of variation. And see how now this one is more white than yellow? And over after like every, I don't know, 2 petals or so, I pick up more paint. Now my paint's getting a little globby on here, so I'm gonna wipe it off. I'm not gonna go into the water. I'm just gonna wipe it off, and I'm gonna start over in my paint with my double load in my corners. You'll be able to tell when you're not getting like sharp lines and stuff. You'll know it's time to clean off your brush. Stand up, push, stand up. Stand up, push, stand up. Pick up some paint, stand up, push, stand up. And there we go. And we have our 3 daisies in there. Okay, and now I'm gonna do my little bud off to the side. And the little bud is the same stroke, but they all come in and meet in the same spot. It's just tighter. And you can make 2 layers. So I'm going to go back in here and put little tiny ones in between. Rinse that off. Now I'm rinsing my brush, and I'm going to dry it, and we are going to move on to our flag. I'm going to get a pencil again. I don't have as much room on this one. This painting is a little shifted over from this first one, so my flag might not be as big, but that's fine. I always say no 2 hand paintings can be alike. We're not machines, right? So I'm going to start down here a little bit, and it doesn't have to be completely straight. And then I'll come down here, and they go on an angle because it's off to the side. All right, we want to put a square up in here for the blue part. Okay, can you see mine? These are somewhat parallel. I have a line up here, but I didn't put it at the tippity top because I want to be able to put like a little something up there. I have this line here, and then I put a square in there for the blue, which we don't have to paint because we already have our blue. Thank you, Helen. Okay. Now, something that always trips me up is making sure I have the right. I only have 9. Like I always feel bad like I'm painting American flag, but it doesn't have 13 stripes. It doesn't have 50 stars, but I think it's okay. I think we're allowed to do that. But I do always like to start and end with red. I like to give it an illusion of being correct. So I'm going to get my red paint out now. We're back to this brush. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of this red. And I'm just going to go in here. I don't think I want it as thick as one brush width. So I'm going to use this on the chisel edge and just paint it in. Okay. Red is one of those colors that's a little translucent. So you might want to do 2 coats Depends on what you're painting. Sometimes I do 2 coats of red. Sometimes I don't. I didn't on the first one of this, so I might not again. I'm going to go down here and do my red. So I have my distance, so I could basically figure it out better where I'm going to put the rest of my red. You can completely pencil in all your stripes if you want. That's totally up to you. I didn't. I could have. Maybe I should have, but I'm not going to worry about that. Like I said too, it's paint. If you let it dry and you're patient, you can go back in and fix anything. Because we're also going to need our red to dry really, really well before we add in our white. Otherwise, we're going to get pink. See me, I had to be quiet. I'm trying to concentrate on my stripes. Okay, so we're gonna let our red dry a little bit, rinse our brushes before we go back in with our white. You guys are winding down. We're just gonna add some details here and we're gonna be all set. What do you think? Oops. Okay, pick it up. Oh, that didn't happen. There we go. So we have the start of our flag. We're just going to go in. We're going to add the details on our glass to make it look more like glass. We have to add, I forget what they're called. Can't wait to paint. I can't wait to see, Terry. I forget what it's called when you add the little leaves to the bud. I'm sorry. We have to add our fireworks and we're going to finish our flag. Okay? We're just letting our red dry a little bit. I'm going to pick up, I'm using my liner brush. I'm going to wet it. It's very dry from laying here. I'm going to, you know what? I'm not going to use my liner brush. I'm going to use the back of the brush I was just using. I'm going to dip the back of the brush in the brown. And I'm going in here and I'm adding the centers to my daisies. What a difference that makes, right? Okay. Then I'm going to use this same brush. I'm going to pick up the greens again, double load. And just come in here and just, it's the same stroke as we used for the daisy petal, but these little tiny green ones, and they just come in there. Look, it's a stand up and a little short pull just to attach our bud to the stem. So you guys, I made an announcement on my page the other night. I've been going live twice a week and painting something, painting a picture, whatever. For this summer, I will only be going live. I will only be going live scheduled once. I will still be doing our monthly. I'll still be doing our monthly paint thing. I will be posting a design for July, probably in the next week or so. Thursday nights, we're going to do our free live. We're here. I'm committed. As far as my other lives on my business page, I'm going to schedule one a week, and I'll probably pop in other times. I love summer, you guys. And so I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to say I'm going to be live and then not be live. I don't want to feel like I'm neglecting my peeps. So I'm just telling you guys, I'm not going to be live twice a week, committedly, until September again. But I will definitely be going live once a week, and we are definitely doing these free paint parties. I'll be scheduling July soon, and then obviously right after July we'll schedule August, and we'll all be here to paint together because I love sharing art from my heart, right, you guys? That's me. Love it. Okay. Let's see. My red dry? Pretty much. Okay. So I'm gonna go in and put my white, and again I'm standing up. And I'm just filling in the white here for my white stripes. I don't love how that one came, but I'm not gonna fret about it. It goes off the page. It's just one of those little wooden flags that we have that sticks out of an arrangement or that we put up by our mailbox. Like I said before, I like painting flags and I like doing patriotic Americana decor, but sometimes I'm like, is it okay if I don't put 13 stripes and 50 stars for all the states? Okay. Oh. Perfectly imperfect. Yes, thank you, Paula. It's art. It's art. There's nothing to fret about. We just want to relax and chill and have some me time and paint something nice while we do it, right? Okay. And even so, I am going to use my little liner brush, and I'm going to go in and put my stars. I use the back of the brush. I do stagger them. So I'm doing 4 and then 3. And I think it's just fine. And then up here, I'm gonna put a little dot on the top of my little stick of my pole. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of white while we're here, and I just want to outline my flag. There we go. There we go. And then a little bit of highlight on our stick. Okay. Then we are going to do our fireworks. I like to do the fireworks with a dot again, and then pull out from there. And if you notice, I'm doing all the white again, because we want to give our white time to dry before we add in the red. And if you notice, when I'm trying to be light-handed, I take my pointer off my brush. Okay? Rinse that off. Now I'm going to pick up some red. I'm going to go back to where we started, and I'm going to put the red pointer out in between the white. Sometimes the red is a little bit hard to see in the camera with the blue, but I can see it. And on yours, you'll be able to see it when you're painting your own project. Okay? In my sample here, I had a little bit of silver too. You guys can put silver if you want. You can put gray. I actually did them different. I like these better than these. But, you know, whatever. It's up to you. Okay? Now this is the tricky part, and this is where it's really important to be light-handed. Okay? We're going to do our glass. So, I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to a decent amount of white on our brush. But then, I'm going to wipe it off. I know, crazy, right? I'm going to wipe it off. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to stand up on my white line. I'm going to push down and just give a swoop. Swoop! Same thing. I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to stand up on this side and just give it a little swoop. Pick up paint, wipe it off, come up here, and pull down. Pick up some paint, wipe it off, but this time I'm going to go in on the chisel edge and add a little bit of a darker glare. Maybe I'll add, did I put it on that side? Yes, I did. So let's pick up some more, wipe it off, and pull down on that side. And that's it, you guys. Oh, no, that's not it. One more little thing. Got to pick up a little bit of yellow. Put little dots in our centers. Mine are a little wet. You might have to wait. You guys might want to wait too for yours to dry. Mine's a little wet yet, but there we go. Hi, Angie, thank you. So, there we have it. Our little Patriotic Mason Jar with the daisies. I really would love to see your guys painting. Don't forget, this recording stays in the group. It is there for you to watch over again. I love sharing art from my heart, and I would love to see. Thank you, Marty. Welcome to the group. I would really love to see. Share your art, you guys. Like I said, this group is public for people to find, but it is not public for people to join. Thank you, Paula. It is not public for people to join and see what goes on in here unless I approve them. So they can't just be a voyeur coming by and looking at people's art. So we are art lovers in here who want to learn to paint from me, and we do a free paint party every month. So feel free to share your art because everyone has to start somewhere. I'm gonna have to come back for replay. Oh, I can't wait to see Angie. So yeah, feel free to share. Everybody starts somewhere, and I'm sure others will be inspired by your art as well and feel like, oh, I can do that, or that, oh, mine's not so bad, or oh, look at mine, oh, I like the way she did that. So yeah, let's all work together, and we're gonna support each other, okay? And like I said, so stay tuned. I am going to be offering a beginner course in September. More info to follow on that. And there we go. So thanks for joining me. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I know it's only Thursday, but have a great weekend, everyone. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.